Hello boys, babes, and all of you beans in between. What is up and welcome back to yet another hardcore episode where we are on a mission. And that mission is a simple one. I want moss. Yeah, that's really it. I want moss, and there are no lush caves near me. I should know. I have been lighting up caves for hours, and I mean hours, and I still have not lit up every cave in the area that affects our creeper farm. But the creeper farm's working. We probably have like 12 stacks of gunpowder, which should set us up for good success for a variety of projects that I want to take on. But I need moss. I want moss partly for a moss farm, partly for other purposes, partly because it's a useful block to have. But mostly because I want to build. I want to build with mossy bricks. And that's fine and dandy until you need the moss. So, my goal is find moss, get moss for farm purposes, but then I can also use moss to clear out large swaths of sections underground to make ourselves another farm. So, like, we're going to get the moss, and the moss is going to be used to clear the farm space for the moss. Genius. But yeah, no, I am mildly upset with the fact that there is a metric ton of moss carpet that I have from the mangroves, but no moss, and you can't craft it into moss blocks. Like, that's just rude. But we are gonna poke over this way and see if by chance there's any azalea trees poking out of the ground, because that tells you where there is a mossy lush cave. However, I don't remember if I've seen any, like, at all. So we've got this many rockets before I need to call it quits and head home. So let's see if I can find any, because my hopes aren't high. But let's get to it. So I had the bright idea of, so when I started this mission, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go check out the savannah, because, like, that might be the answer. Y'all, we are this close instead of this far, which is where I flew at first to go look. They were right here. They were right here the whole time. There's a whole bunch of them. We are literally just next to the swamp that is next to my mangrove forest. The problem falls in this. There's no really, like, open caves, but it's not that far away. So I'm thinking that I didn't bring a shovel, but there is this. Nope, that's not useful. Never mind. I got hopeful for nothing. We're just gonna dig. We're just gonna dig a little staircase. I just need one block. That's all I need. And I have no clue how deep I need to go, or how much of this will be water caves, or any of that. But we are going to find what I seek. Please be a cave near the surface. I'm gonna cry otherwise. Whoop. But yes, we have a lot of torches on our hotbar because I'd been planning to do more cave lighting. And I was like, wait, I should probably start recording my episode. And then I was like, oh wait, there's things I want to do. And now here I am, suffering the consequences of a water cave. Of a flippin' water cave. Flippin' water cave. Okay, yep. I just want some moss. Do you have moss? Hello? Is there moss in here? There is. Let me have what I crave. I have one. That is all I need. I am leaving. That's all I needed. Mission accomplished. Time to go home. Yeah, I wasn't joking. I didn't even bother looking to the right when I left the forest, because this whole coast is covered in azalea trees. And I didn't notice. I just went, let's go jump into the ocean. Like a genius. Oh, righty. After much suffering and much confusion and many more progression of things, I've built a moss farm. However, it only works kind of. let's just show. It's hard to explain. So I've already done some small fixes to try and get it to like timing correctly, but it doesn't work perfectly. The problem we're running into is I got the timer fixed so that this is all like triggering, the bone meal's triggering, but the water never fully recedes, and so I gotta figure out what timing issue is going on there. So if you have any suggestions on how to fix that, it'd be greatly appreciated. Instead I downloaded a copy of the world and it worked perfectly fine in the test world. But the minute I transferred it, it didn't quite work, unfortunately. So I'm not 100%. I have a piece of bone meal or thriving. But yeah, so this is not perfect. The concept is there. The idea is there. It's not quite right. But we're doing good on gunpowder, which is huge. Because I need to go and find some more shulker boxes. I am out of shulker boxes and shulker shells. We've used up the 2 I got, and we're in a bit of a pickle of I need some more for the sake of prepping for some bigger build projects I want to work on. Now, ooh, spooky. One of those is being that I have an idea for how I want to expand this base to have my, like, bigger base project be based out of here instead of going somewhere else to do it. Because I still want to work in the mangrove, I still want to work from here, but I have an idea, and I'm very specifically inspired by some very specific ruins that are found specifically in Southeast Asia, and they are these beautiful old temples, and most of them are still intact and are still cared for, but they're these beautiful stone temples that tend to exist in these more swampy jungles, and I really want to play with some of the designs of them. And so I want to be inspired by the lovely shapes and designs that those have. And I think the first thing we're going to do is have some sort of smaller plinth-like structure that will be existing here. However, as stated previously, I need moss for that, and I think we have enough from clearing out that room. However, this has got to go. Unfortunately, as good as this has served me, we have automated this farm. It is now buried beneath us. We don't need this here anymore. So let me very swiftly, very cleanly dispatch of it, and we will replace most of it with mud as soon as we have figured out what we are doing with this structure. However, before I can start that, I do need shulker cells for us to start putting aside the supplies we're going to need for all of this. So let me clean this up, and then we're going to go on a quick adventure to get ourselves, hopefully, at least like 5 or 6 more shulker boxes, if not more. If we can get a couple stacks of shells, that'd be great, but I don't think I'm gonna commit that much to it. They are quite scary, unfortunately. I love shulkers. I love, like, the end. I love in-busting, but in-busting while in hardcore is still terrifying. Utterly terrifying. But I'm gonna let that do its thing. We're gonna clean up, and I'm gonna go get us some more supplies. I forgot I left our friend out here. Hi, buddy. How you doing? You seem so happy. If I ever fight the dragon again, I'm gonna remove you for your own safety. Oh, he's so peaceful. Okay, off to hell. Okay, so I did one smaller city already, and it only gave me 3, despite the fact I killed like 8 or 9 shulkers. And I don't like that. I'm using looting, and it still is giving me garbage for loot. So let's try and clear this tower with some level of efficiency. Nope. I am realizing, though, I grabbed a bucket with the intention of bringing water, and then forgot the water. I'm nailing it. Can I come down? Oop. Ow. Let me heal. I am proud of myself. Thus far, I have not used a single totem. I'm carrying one, but I haven't used one. Nope, that's not what I wanted that to do. I'm doing pretty good, though. Pretty good. Ow. There we go. Yeah, downside of bowing them is that I don't get looting on that. That is something I kind of wish we had, is like looting on a bow. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, good. That one at least dropped a shulker. Did anyone else drop anything in here? Nope. We just got the 2. It's better than nothing. But yeah, no. I don't like the looting rates on these. But we're gonna clear this city. This is a decently sized city, so hopefully we'll at least get a couple more shulker shells. Woohoo! Alrighty, big tower cleared. We have done that. I have put some stuff in here and now have an in chest, which is actually kind of exciting. But currently looking at 20 shells plus the box I put it in because I made the box. But not bad. I'm trying to decide if I want to go run more cities because I do have this cluster of cities we spotted out here last time. But I'm kind of leaning towards that's going to be 10 boxes plus this one. I feel like that should be enough for a while. So let's go ahead and drop the stuff we've picked up into this chest. And now we've got it. And now I gotta remember which way is out. This is why we like maps. I need to swing left-ish this way, maybe? We'll find out. I'll find my home eventually. Whee! Home sweet home. We're crafting our shulker boxes and just kind of shoving them in there because I can. I really don't know what else to do besides pre-craft them and then just have them at my disposal as needed. I mean, that seems logical. Maybe. Who knows? We never said I was the most logical person here, but here we are. Okay. Yay! Far more than I will ever need. I'm lying. I will need more eventually. But for the time being, that's pretty dang good. That one is gonna go up on the wall because it's got stuff I need to sort out later. But that's pretty good, actually. Let's give these guys the stuff because they know what to do with it. They know what to do with it. It's good. But I need to sit down and figure out this thing. So we're going to clear this out, put in some dirt. I'm going to play with some designs. And I got plenty of moss from the cleaning of the area. So the farm doesn't got to work quite yet. Once again, if you have any ideas on how to fix that, I didn't want a crazy, like, crazy good farm. I just need something that'll work. Where'd my moss go? I have moss, I swear. There it is. But I just need something that will do the trick. I don't need it to solve world hunger. So that's where we are with that. Look at that beauty. Oh, that's beautiful. Ain't that beautiful? Do a couple of those. We got plenty. And then I also want to do some mossy cobble. Because look how nice they are. It'll be great. This will make some good patterns and design things. And honestly, we could go with some crackstone. Some crackstone brick would be real nice to have. Just to have a little bit of extra variety to it. Look at that. Look pretty. Alright, but yeah. So I'm gonna toss around some ideas, see what we can do, and hopefully it will give us something useful. Alrighty, so after a bunch of placing and breaking and placing and breaking, we now have this strange little ruins here. I really wish that we could rotate these. It would be so nice if we could have this, like, just rotate it. It'd be nice. But no. But I have this super unique little kind of crumbled ruins. It is inspired by specifically a temple that I believe is in Cambodia, but I am not 100% on which one it is exactly. But I feel like it is a super nice touch to the area. Like, it feels like there was once something great here and time has left it for us. And then someone came back and went, we'll live here. And so the ruins have become part of the central location of the area. I really love it. Okay, I do think I need to reduce some of our firefly bushes, though. I may have put a few too many in, but I really like it. I think it is a very nice touch for the area. It brings an interesting point of life into, and it also just brings in some complexity to mix in with these builds we have so far, because I like them. They're simple. They're good. They're a good starting point for everything that we've done so far. But I would love to take what we have done and put that back in my offhand, and how we have all of that in there, and it's not very big, but it creates and justifies life here. And I would love to take a similar structure and pop some over here and have ones that are like much more still upright on this higher ground that is the savanna. And then obviously more custom trees to go around it to frame it better. But I think that that would bring us a much nicer space, tell a greater story, and like even cooler if it is a still standing temple, but then we move our wheat fields to be growing around it, as if they're like, okay, this is a safer ground, we can grow things here better. Because I'd love to get rid of these and add a smaller, maybe a little more still standing ruins, and move our cows somewhere else. And then we have this space. Yeah, we've actually discovered it. And then it makes more sense why this boat is here. This boat is here researching, observing, archaeologizing, whatever the heck it's called, to come back and just look and see if we can preserve and document the stuff that is out here these people are living among. And I think it's a really cool visual. I just think it tells a very fun story. I ended up with a lot more tuff mixed in than I initially thought, because I forgot how light these blocks are, and it being sunken into a marshy area, it didn't make a lot of sense for it to all be tough. However, I do think it will be much more stone and stone brick if it's higher above, and it'll have like this lovely tough texture towards the bottom, as it is like the more sunken in earthy tones. Now I really wish that some of these textures we get with the different block types were available across other block types, because stone really doesn't have a lot. It really just has that bullseye looking piece as its unique like cut or palette. Hold on, let's grab it. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, it really just has these options, which are the bricks and then this chiseled stone brick, which is interesting. But that's it. It doesn't really have like a continuation to its pattern. It doesn't sit nice with others, not quite as nicely as some of the tough stuff does, or even the deep slate stuff does. Because like in particular, just comparing the two, this has the ability to look like it's connected and continuing a pattern. And this is just so terribly singular, and I'm not quite as huge on it. But on that note, I am very happy with the work we've gotten done. This took me way too long. It was a lot of breaking and replacing, and I am excited to continue to play with this. It is a stark juxtaposition to most things I usually build, and I'm actually kind of excited. I haven't done a ruins in quite a while, and it requires me to think of the original build, take that, and then knock it over and think about how physics would affect it, how gravity and its sinking and shattering would work. And I am quite happy with it. Once again, I wish the textures could be realigned, and that if you were mixing slabs like this, that the line there wasn't as obvious, but I do still like it, and I'm excited to mix this up. I really want to come through and like maybe do a little smaller like broken thing here to hide this better. Like it's like, oh, there's a secret tunnel that takes you down into something. And I'm really excited to see what else we can come up with. But once again, on that note, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It's been an absolute blast. Next time, we will absolutely get more work done on this. And I'm thinking that I want to set a goal of, from now on, we're going to try and get one achievement per episode, just as a side quest, to try and get that done. Now, what achievement will that be next time? Who knows? I have so many left to do. But once again, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Drink water, and if you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you haven't liked, do the favor to like. And if you know how to solve my redstone, please comment, please. I need help. Send help. Have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye now.